Hello, today I will be playing 100 games of Gen 1 OU on Pokémon Showdown. Gen 1 has a lot of differences and it would take me several minutes to go over them all, so I'll just show the critical hit rates, which are calculated on base speed. Basically, the faster the Pokemon, the better the crit rate. In game 1 I was facing a fairly bad opponent. He sent in a Rhydon against my Chansey, and after I crit killed it, he sent in Tauros. I ended up sweeping with Sandslash, which is rare because Tauros usually stops him. In game 2 I got destroyed by a Clefable. Not the most popular Pokemon, but very dangerous. In game 3, he let me paralyze his Tauros pretty much for free, so of course I won. In game 4, my opponent forfeited after missing 2 Mega Kicks in a row. Can't say I blame him. In game 5, I got the perfect start, sleeping his Zapdos and freezing his Snorlax. This let me set up Sandslash for the sweep, and he just forfeited. Game 6 is 3 turns long. Get wrecked. In game 7, my opponent led with Gengar, the worst lead Pokemon by far. Literally anything would be a better choice, even Ditto. By using Gengar in the lead spot, you get a Pokemon that has to rely on Hypnosis, a 60% accurate move to beat Exeggutor and Jinx, and if you miss on either, you get slept or you take over 50% from Psychic. And against Alakazam and Starmie, the two better and more common leads, you have to switch out immediately. Gengar is by far the worst lead out there, and if you use it, you're only handicapping yourself. Anyways, the guy obviously wasn't very good and forfeited very quickly. In game 8, I'm facing someone who actually knows what they're doing because they don't lead Gengar. I honestly might have won, but I forgot to put Growth on Tangela. You know, people usually say Tangela is complete trash in RBY OU, but they're wrong. At first, you might think it's totally outclassed by Victory Bell and Venusaur with the Sleep Powder Growth set, but not being Poison type means you aren't weak to Psychic, and Tangela has better physical bulk than both of them. It can also set on many Pokemon such as Rhydon, Paralyzed Chansey, Jolteon even with Pin Missile, and some variants of Starmie, Gengar, and Snorlax. It's not amazing, but definitely solid, and way better than people give it credit for. In game 9, I exploded on Gengar, and then Tangela got wrecked by Paralysis, and I forfeited since I wasn't gonna win. In game 10, Tangela came in clutch with Sleep Powder for the win. In game 11, this happened. I outspeed this, right? We speed tie. I'll take the speed tie. I'll take it. Worst speed tie in my life. Yeah, I didn't win. In game 12, Tangela slept the opposing Tauros, and that was enough to win the game, even if Tangela fainted. And then we come to game 13. It had a pretty standard start, but then he sent in Zapdos, and I realized I didn't have an answer to this thing. So I let Tauros faint to get it low on health, and then this happened. Wait a minute, this is good, this is good, this is worth. We just sleep something. And if Zapdos is coming in, then it's fine. No. What? Are you serious? There's no way that just happened. It's been weeks since this happened, and I'm still salty. Like, seriously, Ice Beam Rhydon, who uses that? And then he beat me with a Charizard? F that. In game 14, Tangela managed to sweat up and made my opponent forfeit. Tangela didn't sweep in game 15, but he did so much damage by the time he went down, the game was over. And in game 16, well, please don't freeze. Why is Tangela a freeze magnet? Oh my god. I still won, but come on, that's not even fair. After that game, I went back to the Sandslash team, which I really like using. And this is why you don't lead Gengar. Even in a good matchup, it still fails 40% of the time. What's interesting about this guy's team is that he had a Porygon, but he was using it completely wrong. Basically, Porygon wants to wall Snorlax and avoid paralysis, however, he just sent it in on Chansey. After a little while, I had his team weakened, and Sandslash won the game. Sandslash also cleaned up in game 18. My opponent forfeited before Sandslash could do anything in game 19. Game 20 was going really well until Starmie got frozen.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
Game 21 makes up for it though, because this time I get all the luck. Game 22 makes me mad because I thought he would rest, so I used Swords Dance and he used Surf like an idiot. Maybe he just didn't have rest, but I'm still salty. Game 23 was another easy win. Game 24 was so close, but I lost. Game 25 is the first one where I used Porygon, and Porygon is a beast. Porygon doesn't have good stats, but he can wall Snorlax infinitely without a crit and will never get paralyzed from Body Slam due to Gen 1 weirdness. People say he just walls Snorlax, but if Tauros uses Hyper Beam when Porygon switches in, then Porygon also walls Tauros. His biggest threat is getting paralyzed, but with good play, you can avoid this. If you're wondering why I have Flash, it's to stop Amnesia Snorlax from sweeping my team. Porygon isn't the best Pokemon, but he's good and certainly not a complete gimmick. Anyways, Porygon got crit one-shot by Tauros, but paralyzing it was enough to win the game. In game 26, I missed my explosion due to the 1 in 256 glitch. Like seriously man, what the hell? I managed to win with some good luck though. Game 27 was tough, but it looked possible until... You know, I mean, he could just Hyper Beam crit me. I called it! Yeah, no coming back from that. Game 28 was very easy, mostly because my opponent was bad. Game 29, Porygon was once again the star, taking a Hyper Beam and paralyzing the opponent's Tauros, which got me the win. In Game 29, I got pretty bad luck and decided to forfeit rather than sit there for a half hour spamming recover. Game 31 is the worst I have ever played. It was my Sandslash and Chansey versus his Starmie. What I should have done was switch to Chansey, paralyze it, and then keep using Thunderbolt. What I actually did was sacrifice Sandslash and then try to free Starmie. Then it crit twice in a row when I got fully paralyzed, and I lost. Mega oof. Game 32 is hard to watch because I get so much bad luck. I actually won Game 33, but I was still pissed off because he had Confuse Ray Lapras. I used a different team in Game 34, and just like me, that was a mistake. In Game 35, I had 4 turns of really bad luck in a row. Look at that garbage. Despite that, I won. I got wrecked in Game 36 and forfeited early. Game 37 is your reminder to not use Golem. This thing is not good, just for anybody wondering. Like, don't use it, just use Rhydon. I just like the boom, but, like, come on, you never get it off. Like, it never happens. You see, this is the problem with people. Look at that. What were you trying to do? Like, that would have crit. That would have crit. That would have done, like, nothing. It would have done nothing, to be honest. Like, it would have done, like... You see, and this is actually really nice, because I can just get crit here, like always! Despite that, I won. Game 38 is better for Golem because he actually gets a kill on Rhydon and then explodes on Snorlax, letting Articuno sweep. Game 39 was another easy win. Game 40 was both bad luck and bad play. I kinda deserved to lose, but not that much. In Game 41, I wisened up and used a team that isn't bad, so of course I won. Back to using garbage in Game 42. Like, seriously, why was I using Machamp? Still using Machamp in Game 43, and it's so bad I lost to a lead Gengar. My chance got frozen early in Game 44, so you know I didn't win. And Game 45 is... Oh wait, it's already over. Game 46 was also pretty much a free win. Game 47 was pretty funny because Toxic actually did stuff, but it doesn't really benefit Machamp, so I don't know why I made a team with both. Oh well, I still won. Back to facing Lead Gengar and using the Sandslash team, so of course I won. In Game 49, I was facing someone using Red's team. How dare they have fun? Now, but for real though, easy win. Game 50 wasn't easy, and it wasn't a win. Game 51 was a win partially thanks to Raichu, but it's still really bad and outclassed by Jolteon. All I gotta say about Game 52 is... Gengar! I hate this game. Raichu got really lucky in Game 53, but my opponent playing bad also is helpful too. You know, I just can't help myself from using bad Pokemon. Look at Raticate go! Although the only reason I won is because he disconnected. Actually though, Raticate is so bad that it makes me lose against people that use lead Gengar. Yeah, I didn't win Game 56 either. I was so close to winning Game 57, but his Tauros just had to freeze me. I decided to use an actually viable Pokemon in Game 58, Tangela. Worked out great as I managed to win. Lead Gengar is so bad I didn't even have to use Tangela in Game 59. Lead Gengar's problems are threefold. 1, relying on Hypnosis is risky at best. 2, you might take a hit just trying to use Hypnosis. And 3, even if you hit a Hypnosis, you can't explode, but if you don't, Gengar will have failed to get his team any meaningful damage. And if you do, I can use Snorlax and sweep with Pinsir. And I fought another Lead Gengar in Game 61. And guess who won? In Game 62, I fought another Lead Gengar. It's just free wins at this point. Game 63, I fought a good player who didn't lead Gengar, and he actually beat me. But I avenged my loss in Game 64. I used Porygon again in Game 65. Okay. You know, like I said, I mean... Oh my god, are you serious? I mean, I still won, but I was more than a little salty. In Game 66, I slightly misplayed and lost for it. In Game 67, I won thanks to the power of friendship. I used a team with Poliwrath on it in Game 68, and while the team isn't bad, I definitely played it bad. But in Game 69, Poliwrath made the opponent forfeit. I got wrecked by a substitute Starmie in Game 70. In Game 71, I decided to go full try-hard, and since my opponent led Gengar, I thought it would be an easy victory. I played near perfectly throughout the game, but I got bad luck and lost. I played very well in Game 72, but I still lost. Maybe Poliwrath just isn't that good. In Game 73, my opponent wasn't that good, so it was an easy victory. In Game 74, I got to avenge my unjust loss in Game 71. I won again in Game 75, quite easily. I finally got a Poliwrath sweep for Game 76. Poliwrath didn't sweep in Game 77, but I still won. My Snorlax got frozen in Game 70, and I forfeited not long after. In Game 79, my Chansey got frozen really early, and I made a risky play at one point that got my Tauros paralyzed, and not long after, it was GG. And just to make me feel better about losing, my next match was against one of the highest ranking players on the ladder. Not much I could do there, although I wish I would have played better. And I'm once again fighting a tryhard who's just better than me, but a win in game 82 made me feel better. And another win for game 83! I don't even care that I lost game 84. I have honor, because I don't lead Gengar like a nerd. I lost again to a stupid Gengar lead, but mostly because Tangela missed his sleep powder twice. I won game 86, but nothing interesting happened whatsoever. Game 87 was going pretty good until I froze my Chansey, and crit my Tangela, and crit my Snorlax. I'm back to using the Sandslash team in game 88, and I should have done this like 10 games ago. I love using this team, and it's just good. And now we interrupt your regular scheduled Pokemon to bring you Pokemon, but it matters. Kinda. Yeah, these next games are actually from a Stadium OU tournament. This is actually stadium mechanics, not RBY, but it's similar enough. Anyways, in game 1 I'm using a team with Kangaskhan, and it's significantly better because of the buff substitute. Game 1 was pretty even until I froze his Starmie, which is what he gets for keeping it in versus my Chansey. And then just a few turns later, I countered his Snorlax's Body Slam, and that was pretty much the game-winning blow. The battle went on a while longer, but I wasn't too worried of the outcome. He attempted to play around my Amnesia Snorlax by PP stalling its moves, but I never let his Slowbro set up, and I actually PP stalled his Soft Boiled. After that, it was lights out. Alright, so my bad, but I wasn't recording for game 2, so I have to use the replay footage. Game 2 was much luckier because I had a Zapdos, which is absolutely insane if your opponent doesn't have a Rhydon or Golem, and he didn't. I was able to use Zapdos to kill Chansey and then pressure the rest of his team. I misplayed though, and Zapdos feinted to a Body Slam, and then we PV stalled each other for 90 turns straight. Not even joking. After that, we had a freeze war with Snorlax, and I won, so he forfeited. GG. Alright, enough of that, back to the pointless garbage. In game 91, I was in a bit of a tough spot, and this happened. Come on, Tauros! Freeze this stupid piece of garbage. Yeah! Yeah! Take that! If you couldn't tell, that made my day, because I hate Gengar in Gen 1. I didn't get as lucky in game 92 though. But if there's one thing you can count on in this video, it's the return of the Sandslash Jinx team. And of course, I won. I lost to another Gengar lead in game 94. I don't talk about game 95. Game 96 definitely happened though, and I even won. Game 97 had the worst start ever. I lost a speed tie and then got froze. No coming back from that. Game 98 was just awful. It was going okay until my Starmie got parahaxed and he said deserved. After that I was a little bit salty, so when he said be right back, I turned on the timer. He then said that kind of unsportsmanship is why you're going to lose. And after what he said earlier, I got even more salty. After a few turns I said GG and was just about to forfeit, but then he said thanks for the elo. The moment he said that, I decided I was going to waste as much of his time as possible. After all, I had a Chansey with nearly full PP. My only other Pokemon was a sleeping Rhydon, which was basically useless. After a very long time, he just started switching around, so I did the same thing, and in a miracle, Rhydon woke up and destroyed his whole team while literally being on 1 HP. That right there is the most karma I've ever seen, and I laughed for like a good 10 minutes after this game. Oh hey, another Gengar lead. Who didn't see that coming? Yeah, but he got wrecked by Sandslash anyways. And here we are, game 100, still with the Sandslash team. Honestly, it wasn't too different from any other game. What was kinda cool though is that our last Pokemon were also our leads. But Jinx, well very ugly, is actually good, so I won.